All right, hello once again, everybody. This is Jeff Scott, formerly of Rankin Technical College, and as part of my newer YouTube channel, JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, and in particular in the YouTube playlist, Jeff Teaches Programming-Python, I've been going through a series of videos that I've done, and there's 20 or 25 or so out there right now. And what I had done lately was I had gone in and rewritten the Payroll program, and I had rewritten it first using Python lists, then done it using Python dictionaries, then done it using Python tuples, and finally I'm about to do it using Python sets. I wanted to show you that right now, if you take a look in here, what you'll see is the Python set is totally empty. So I'm going to grab everything I had from the tuple. Whoops, try that again. There we go. And I'm going to copy it to the clipboard, and I'm going to paste it into here. So I now have these four in here. Then I'm going to close this. And I'm going to go back and reopen. Not that. Try that again. Reopen what I have been working on, which is just these right here, the ones I just put in right here. All right. And these are the ones, again, for the set example. So I'm going to open this with code right now and start making some changes. All righty. Now, the first set of changes that I'm going to make should be quite obvious to everybody. And that is I have to start changing some of these names. All right. So, for instance, Python header is fine, but Python tuple menu will be changed to Python set menu. It's the same kind of thing I'd been doing earlier. All right. And Python tuple menu methods will be renamed Python set methods. And every time, as you can see when I'm doing this, it's asking me if it should update any other files accordingly, and I'm going to say yes. Okay. And finally, Python tuple oop will be renamed Python set oop. All right, so those are all done. Let's make the easiest changes first. Now with this one, okay, nothing's going to have to change in here, except, well, I guess it already has Python set menu. Okay, well, that's good. And this is going to say that it's going to utilize sets. And this will have to call the set menu. So I believe, at least, that's everything I'm going to need for that. Let's just close that one for now. And let's bring up this Python set oop. All right. Now, when you look in here, of course, this will change to set. All right, which does the following: use one or more sets to get the following information. Now, I did, for lack of better words, kind of cheesed out here. And what I did was I went back in and I used the same 25 employees that I'd set up earlier. So I'm just going to leave those like that. Okay. So this changes, of course. It's no longer this stuff that you see in here, these things. Okay. In fact, let's just get rid of all this. We're just going to say uses one or more sets. All right. To create a payroll program which also demonstrates the following Python set methods. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all of these. All right, let's go back to W3C schools. .com, and from here, whoops, didn't like something. Try it again. W3C schools.com. That should be right. What is wrong with that? W3C schools.com. There we go. And from here, we want to go into Python. And from Python, we're going to go down to sets. Okay, and from sets, we're going to go down to set methods. And I'm going to grab each one of these. Now, there are going to be a couple of them that I'm really not going to implement very much in here. You'll learn why once we get to that point. But let me, I'm going to clean this up just a little bit. So, move these over a bit. And even a little further, I guess. Okay. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'll clean that up later. You shouldn't have to watch me do all that. So set menu, be Python set menu, Python set methods, set methods. This won't say tuples anymore. It'll say sets. This will say PS menu, and it'll be the set menu. Okay. All right. And I guess I am going to clean this up. Not that I want you to watch me do this, but otherwise I just might forget to do it. So. All right, so that cleans all that up. Rate each is its own function, did not use object-oriented programming. I think everything that's in here is now okay. Looks like as of right now, at least, I don't need that one, but I'm going to leave it in there anyway. So File, Save All. Now, I'm not going to run it yet. I've only changed this file, but let's go in next. I'm going to leave that one open, and I'm going to change my set menu here. And actually, I'm going to make quite a few changes. Now, I already showed you in here with the header, so let's just do these in order. So that one should be done. That's the main one. And then we've got the header. Now with the header, we've got the set menu. Let's put in a link to our set methods also. So this will be PS for Python set menu. We'll fix that in just a minute. And we'll also import Python set methods as PSM. All right, def title, welcome to my payroll program. This and this will change to PS. Menu, the set menu, and you'll understand this in a little bit, but I'm going to call PSM here dot show sets for method examples. Okay, now these two files are now finished. This one and this one are basically finished. I do have to bring up the menu again. All right, and that's what we're going to do next. So we've got this set, this which didn't change. This will change to set. So this program implementation will use Python sets to manage employee information. In addition, it will use these set methods as opposed to the tuple methods that we used in the last program. All right, so this will become the set menu. All right, assume the following, and we're going to start making changes right here. What do I mean? Well, when you work with a set, it's not in brackets like it is with a tuple. It's in curly braces. So we've got one curly brace there, and this should say set of employee records. All right, and of course, we have to make sure we end it also with a curly brace. All right, now none of the rest of this stuff that's in here, right here, has changed. It's the same stuff as previous program. Now, with the options, yes, there will be some changes. All right, we're going to do those literally in just a second. All right, but I want to mention something before I go through and do this. All right, if you go back and take the time to go back here and look at these examples. For example, let's just do a difference. Okay, look at the examples they give. They're fairly simplistic. So for instance, for difference, it says show the stuff that exists in here that doesn't exist in here. So if we look there, looks like it should be banana and cherry. All right, and it is. The order is doesn't matter. But with a difference, we're saying, okay, take this, subtract this, and if you've got a match like we do here and here, throw it away, but keep what's left. All right? So why am I even telling you that? Well, some of the other examples that are in here are even more simplistic. And what I mean is, like if we go down to, for example, I don't know, let's try this symmetric difference. I guess they'll all use this kind of stuff. What I did was I made my own sets in here, all right, that I wanted to use for testing. Now, probably didn't do that great a job, but one set is all the employees who worked overtime, so worked greater than 40 hours. The other one are all employees making more than $20 an hour. There are some things that exist in both sets, some that exist in one set and not the other set, and some that do not exist in any set or either set. All right? But I tried to make this a little more reminiscent of something you'd probably actually use yourselves. So let me go back here. And I've got here 13 things. I'm going to go and add here. And I'm going to have a total of 17. It's giving me the errors not because those numbers are the same, but because I need commas at the end. So we've got 13, 14, 15, 16. I'm going to put one more in here. All right, and that'll be 17. So I tried to come through here, and I actually used 16 of the things that were in here. All right, and what did I use? Well, notice I said 16, even though there's 17. Okay, what I'll do for this last one here, this one, and I'm just going to call psm.exit program. Python set methods, which we'll write in a bit, exit program. So that's all we want to do for that one. Now it's giving me an error because I don't probably have a PSM here. Notice I've got a PTM, but no PSM. All right, so now that'll work, but all my other ones will be flagged as being an error. That's okay, because we're going to change all these right now. All right, so we're going to put in 16 methods. These are 16 of these that I've implemented in here. All right, so the first one, in fact, let's just change this. Edit, replace, and we'll replace PTM dot with PSM dot. And boom, all those errors are now gone. All right. Now, most of these are not going to require anything except other than I think the copy. All right. Which is going to be the second one here. None of these are going to include. I'm not going to pass the employees in for any of these other than the copy, which will be here. All right, I'm just doing some cleanup work here. Now that's it. All right, so the first one again, taking it from the top, this will be, we'll call it clear. Whoops. These are all going to be examples of these methods. So I've got a clear example. That's going to be the first one. The second one will be copy example. And that one will need employees. The next one will be difference example. The next one will be difference update. In fact, I'm going to use the names they use. Update example. I'm just appending example onto the end of each one of these. Then the next will be discard example. All right, next, intersection example. All right, followed by intersection update example. All right, next will be is disjoint example, followed by is subset example, followed by is superset example, followed by pop example. All right, followed by, I've got two discards in there, so something is goofed up, but we'll get it fixed. So here, discard example. I've already got discard up here. Somehow that got screwed up, but we'll fix it in just a minute. All right. Oops. Then after that, symmetric difference example. Symmetric, that's nice. Symmetric difference update example. All right, union example. Update example. It looks like I'm missing one. So let's go back and let's compare this with what was in here. Let me back this up. Take that from the top. All right. We're actually not going to implement the add in here, just so you know. But taking it from the top here, in fact, let's do it. We got clear, copy, difference, difference update. And that should be difference update. Discard, intersection, intersection update. Is disjoint so intersection, intersection update. Is disjoint, is subset, is superset. Pop, this should be remove. Okay. Symmetric difference update, union, and update. So I have everything in there. And that's good. All right, they're all in there. I don't have the add in here. I did not implement add in this particular program. All right, so we've got this. And what I'm going to want to do is just a little magic, so to speak. And that is, I'm going to want to come in here and do this. I want to say, whoopsie. I want to come in here and say right here, PSM dot sleep, then clear, which remember, that'll pause for a few seconds and then clear the screen. So PSM dot show sets for method examples, passing in employees. This is where I will set up. This is where, I want to say this again, I will set up, I'll call them overtime workers, and that'll be all the workers that have worked greater than 40 hours. And I'll have, we'll call it something like well-paid workers, and that's workers making $20 an hour or more. All right, so after we do this, we're going to do another PSM sleep, then clear. Okay. All right, so this will have to change in here. Since we've already got the sleep, then clear right here, we don't need another one here. So this is going to be Python sets menu. All right, and a 1 will be to show Python, oh boy, Jeffrey, to show Python clear set example. A 2 will be to show a Python copy set example. A 3 will be to show a Python difference set example. And this is clear. So let's just do it like this. This is copy. This is difference. A 4 will be to show the difference update. The difference update example. All right. Next, we'll have to show the discount example. Set example. Next, and that isn't discount, that's discard. Okay. After discard, we have the intersection. Set example. All right. Next is the intersection update. Next is the is disjoint. Put in parentheses here. I'm just trying to be consistent with the way I'm setting this thing up. All right. Next, will be the is subset. Next will be superset. All right. Next, we've got pop. Come on. In fact, where I've got set example there, I want that to say method. Just about got this done. After pop, again, notice I'm missing some. I don't know how I lost those. Oh, I didn't copy them down. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Good. All right, so after pop, we've got the remove. Next, we have the symmetric difference. Then we've got the symmetric difference update. Was that D? I don't know. All right, so that's 13, so that'll be 14. Oh, geez. So that will be, try it again, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 will be to exit the program now. So we're almost there. All right. So next we've got the union. And finally, we've got the update. All right. So it should come in here now and say, please enter a 1 through 17 now. If the choice was 17, we want to end the program. Otherwise, we want to do the operation. And if we didn't put something in there that was 1 to 17, it should say this. Now, none of this has yet been implemented. I'll say that again. None has been implemented. But I want to come over here and run it and just see if I get any errors. I'm not going to try to run the methods yet. Okay, we'll utilize sets. That's good. Okay, so it's got some problems in here. Show sets. Okay, it says this doesn't exist. So we got to go in and start writing those methods. All right. Okay, so let's go in and write the methods. So pretty much this is done. This is done. This is even done. And we're now going to come in and start writing our set methods. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get rid of virtually everything that's in here, except down at the bottom where I've got my end program and my sleep then clear. I'm going to keep those, and I'm going to get rid of everything else. All right, so this will be Python set methods.py. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's import here our Python set menu. And we're going to import that as PSM for Python set menu. I'm going to import OS, the operating system, which I need to clear. And I'm going to import time, which I'm going to need for that sleep function. All right, let me check my time here. No pun intended there. All right, I'm at 33 minutes, so I'm doing just fine. This will probably take one lecture, and I'm sure there'll be mistakes in here when I get done with it, so maybe another one to clean it up. And the plan is, as soon as I get done with this, I'm going to throw this out into my GitHub repository, and then next, what we're going to do is, let me explain it real quick. I don't want to waste any more time in this lecture, but I want to tell you, I'm going to rewrite the Python list program, the Python dictionary program, the Python tuple program, and this Python set program. I'm going to rewrite all of those using object-oriented programming. So we'll have classes that we'll set up. All right. Then when I get done with that, I'm going to basically take this payroll program and kind of do it from scratch, for lack of better words, and try to put in a bunch of the other object-oriented features that we'll talk about shortly. Then when I get done with that, I'm going to write another program, and this one I haven't written yet, but it'll be something that we're just going to do again from scratch that'll be totally object-oriented. All right, so let's come in here and start writing. All right, so the first thing, remember, that we had in here was this thing that was called show sets for method examples, and we had to pass in our employee list. So let's write that first. All right, Okay. And we'll want to make sure that we're going to be using in here a couple global variables that we're going to create. In fact, let's go up to the top here. Let's make one. Let's try to put these in here right here. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I want to try it right here. So I'm going to say overtime workers equals set, and what we'll call in here well paid workers. That'll also be equal to a set. Doesn't seem to like these if this is empty. How about parens there? Yeah, it still doesn't like that. So what if we just do this? How about just paren? Doesn't seem to mind that. So I'm creating two global variables here. Create two global sets. All right. Number one, overtime workers will be all workers with hours worked greater than 40. And well-paid workers will be all workers with an hourly rate that's greater than or equal to $20 an hour. And that's just an arbitrary value I made up. Believe me, there's nothing special about 20. We could change it, make it bigger, smaller, etc. All right? Now, I'm going to use these in a bunch of my routines, and that's why I'm making them global up here. So I have to say global here to make sure it knows that I'm working with the ones that are here. So overtime workers and well-paid workers. Okay, now I want to set. And I'm going to use something that is called here set comprehension. Let me put these both in and then we'll go over. So I'm going to use one of these for each one. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, we're going to say overtime workers is equal to, and let me put it in. So I'm going to say use a local variable here called emp, and for each employee or each emp in employees, so have it go through my list of employees, if emp 3 is greater than 40.0. Now, can I fix this up a little better? Yes. What do I mean? Well, I can come in here and I can actually put in a couple constants. All right, and we'll put in here, we'll call it max non-OT hours, and we'll set that equal to 40.00. That's the most hours you can work and not get any overtime. And we'll call this well-paid worker. And we're going to set that equal to $20. All right, so now I can use this here, and I can use this here, like that. All right, so what I'm going to say in here is overtime workers equal, And I don't know what the heck happened to this. I thought I'd started typing it already, but oh, there it is. Okay, yeah. Okay, so this right here can now, instead of 40, this can now be max non-OT hours. All right, so this is telling it to loop through my employees that I'm passing in, and those employees are the 25 I set up right here. That's these 25 employees. And I'm telling it to go through these, and each time it finds the fourth field, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is hours worked. In fact, 0, 1, 2, I think it's 3 here, not 4. Yep, it's 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So anytime this field is greater than 40, so it should pick out this one, skip that, skip that, skip that, pick out this one, skip, skip, pick it out, skip, pick it out, skip, skip, pick it out, skip. Get the idea, hopefully. All right. Now for this other one, what I'm going to do, it's going to be different, but I'm going to copy this so I've got a starting point here. All right, and these are my well-paid workers. And this will be field 4, which is our hourly rate, and that is a well-paid worker. So again, as we go back and look at this, okay, again, this will be field 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that person making more than $20 an hour? Yes. Is this person? Yes. Is this person? Yes. Is this person? No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. 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 No. Yes. 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 No. No. Just so you've got hopefully some kind of an idea of basically what I'm working with here. All right. Okay. So I'm not done with this routine yet, but I've set these two fields up. I want to print them out to make sure it's going to show everything that I just mentioned to you. So I'm going to say here, print. Here is the list of overtime workers. And as you guess, in just a minute, I'm going to say print. Here is the list of well-paid workers. Okay? All right, so I'll have both those, but I've got to iterate over this. Okay? So I'm going to say for let's say OTW, overtime workers, in overtime workers. So it's going to go through that. So every time you find one, print OTW. So print that worker. All right, since it's a for loop, I need the colon. And this one will look very similar, but it'll be for well-paid workers in well-paid workers, colon, print WPW. All right, that should be it for this one. Now, the rest of this stuff, I haven't written the other stuff in here yet, but let's see if we do a file, save all, and we come back to this and we run it. Let's see what this looks like. All right, well, look, it's telling me, says we have no attribute yet. I'll have to double check that, but here is the list of overtime workers. So everybody in here that you see, the fourth field should be greater than or equal to 40. Hopefully you can tell that they are. All right, so it has my overtime workers. Doesn't have my well-paid workers, so something is screwed up in there, and we're going to fix it right now. All right, it says has no attribute. Show sets for method examples. Well, let's double check that. Show sets for method examples. Should be there. There's overtime workers. There's our well-paid workers. We said global here. So the show sets for method examples. Show sets for method examples. Huh. And again, it's showing my list of overtime workers. For emp in employees. Here is the list of overtime workers. Here is the list of well-paid workers. Do it like this. All right. I'm looking for something that looks erroneous in here, and as of right now, I don't see it. So. That should be greater than or equal to, but that has nothing to do with the error that I'm getting, which is not showing anything. So that is called set comprehension. And we're printing the overtime workers. And we can put a backslash in there, which would make it look a little nicer there and here. Well-paid workers. Doesn't like something in here. Might be the way I'm setting these up. I don't know though. Let's take a look. And I'm going to Google here how to initialize an empty Python set. So it says here you can do it like that. That's what I did. Except I don't have the word set there. Okay. Let's do a file save all. And after we do this, I'm going to just do one more thing. And you'll know why in just a second. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to print, just print a couple blank lines. Okay. All right. So file, save all. Let's clear this. Let's do a 17 to exit. Well, that looks like it's working, and that's good. All right. So that worked. So let's go back, bring this up to the top, and go back to here, and let's run it and see if we get what we want. Okay, there it is. All right, here is the list of overtime workers, good. And here is the list of well-paid employees. So everyone in the second last one here, that should be greater than 20. That should be greater than 20, greater than 20, greater than 20, greater than 20, greater than 20. Now that looks a little small. I thought it was a bigger list than that. But for right now, at least, it appears as though it's all working. Okay, we'll double check the other stuff that's in here in just a bit. So now we have to start doing this. And this add, this was not implemented. It just was going to be too big of a pain in the butt to go through and do that. So going back to our set methods, we now have show sets for method examples where we used set comprehension to set up a list of overtime employees and a list of well-paid employees. All right, so we've got all that done. All right, now we have to start putting in our set method, the ones that we want to use. The first one we had was clear, and I'm not going to provide that either. So def clear example, and I'm going to put in here let's use an F string. The clear option is not provided in this program. Of course, this is wrong right now, so we'll fix it right now. That should be a print statement. All right, let's come back and do one more thing that I didn't do. I'm going to grab this one. And I'm going to put a 0 in here, and this will say add. I'm not providing that one either in here. Okay, let's go back to here. And I can just grab this now and make a quick copy on it. So this will say add example, and this will say the add option is not provided in this program. Now, down here, I did not add that into here. So we'll put here 0, and this will say add example. Now, those two right now should work. It should just say that neither one of them are provided. So let's save everything. Now we should be able to go in and put in option 0, option 1, and option. So there's, doggone it. Okay, I keep having a problem with my history. It's not updating the history. I got online and tried doing everything they said to update it. So I'll show you how I've tried to fix this at least. So let me close, 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 clear this. Okay, I'm out of here now. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to reopen it. That seems to, at least at times, fix it. And if it doesn't, there's one more thing I can do. I want to make sure it gives me option 0 in here. If it does give me option 0 when I run this, what that means is it did do the updating. And if it doesn't give me the option 0, it's not doing the updating. We'll start it like this. So let's see if I get an option 0 here. Now my well-paid workers is now, was bigger. I don't know what the heck happened there. All right. So there's option 0. And when I put in a 0, it should say this is not implemented here. With this one, it should say this is not implemented here. And then I should be able to go down and do this one. Those are the only 3 that have been implemented. Numbers 1, 2, and 17. So if I put in a 1, all right, we get the clear option is not provided in this program. Good. If we put in a 2, or a 0, I guess, it says the add option is not provided in this program. Finally, if we do a 17, normal program termination. So all that's working. That's a good start. Because I'm a little squirrely about stuff like this, I'm going to add in here a \n here, and here. And finally, I'm going to add one here. Now, all that'll do, I'm not going to run it again because all that's going to do is just add a blank line in each one of those. So far, I've come in here and let's go into my menu. I've added the add example right there, and I've added the clear example. So it's time to continue on, as you can see there with the copy example. Now I am at 55 minutes, so I'm going to do about 3 or 4 more of these, and then I'm going to stop and do a second lecture. All right, so let's go back into here. So this next one is going to be a copy example. All right, and this one is implemented. So there's no great way to do this this is what I came up with. So I'm going to put a global in here for overtime workers and for well-paid workers. All right. And then I'm just going to add 4 print statements. So I've got a print statement here. So we'll put in here making copies of the employee, overtime, worker, and well-paid worker sets. Okay. And we'll show each one. So this will be the employees set copy. All right. And we'll put it there. So and we'll call the copy method. Just like that. Okay, now it's giving me an error because I have to pass into this employees. And now the error goes away. All right, and I can copy this. And the second one will be overtime workers. In fact, let's be consistent here. So this will be employees with a little e. This will be overtime workers set copy, and this will be well-paid workers set copy, which means this will have to be overtime workers and this will have to be well-paid workers. Okay. Let's see now if that particular option works. So can we go in and do a copy now? Okay. All right, so file, save all. You've already seen a couple of these, but I'm going to rerun them anyway so you can see everything. Oops, I got to run the right file here, which I did not, so there. So let's run this. There we go. So there's my overtime and my well-paid workers. You already saw that if I put in a 0 here, it says the add option is not provided. If I put in a 1 here, it says the clear option is not provided. But now, if I put in a 2, all right, you can see I get everything. So there are that's my employee set copy. Let's put we'll put in a couple blank lines in here. So there's one, there's my overtime. And it doesn't look like it's showing me my well paid unless, well, we'll have to look at that one too. So let's look at that. If I put in a 17, it should quit. There we go. All right. Let's jump back into these. So, making copies, employee overtime worker. So we're going to, each one of these will put in a \n here, a \n here, and a \n here. It's having problems right now with my well-paid workers, and I don't know why. Well-paid workers, well-paid workers, well-paid workers, well-paid workers. They're all correct. They're all the same caseness and the like. Employees if M4 greater than or equal to well-paid worker, which was here. So that's okay. This one is working just fine, the overtime, but I'm having problems right now with the other one. Well-paid. Let's try it one more time. Still running the wrong the wrong darn file. You got to run the file with main in it. So zero says it's not provided. 1 says it's not provided. 2 there's my entire set of employees. There's my overtime, and there's my well-paid. So they're all in here. All right, now for some reason, my well-paid, when it is printing at the top, there should be more in here than what we're seeing, and I don't know why we're not. I'll have to double check that. But the point is this: so far what I have implemented here, I believe correctly, is we're not going to put in add or clear, but I've done the copy and I've got the update. All right, and we've got to be about an hour in. We are now, so I'm going to stop and put the rest in the next lecture. So I'll be back with that shortly.